Hello and welcome. In this explainer, we're going to break down the core ideas from Wallace D. Wattles' classic work, The Science of Getting Rich. Our goal is to really distill it all into a simple, practical system that you can actually start using. All right, let's get into it. But first, let's talk about something I'm sure we've all felt. You know that feeling? You set a new goal, a project, a new habit, and you start out with all this incredible energy. But then, fast forward a week or two, and that initial focus, it just starts to fade. You find yourself kind of drifting off course. It's a super common frustration, right? But what if there was a systematic way to actually prevent that from happening? So, by the end of this, here's what you're going to have: a complete system for keeping your focus sharp, a really powerful mindset shift to help you spot opportunities everywhere, and, most importantly, a simple daily practice to build that consistency we're all after. Now, Wattles presents his method not as some, vague philosophy. He calls it an exact science. His whole argument is that just like there are laws of mathematics that always work, there are laws of achievement. And once you learn to operate by these laws, he says success becomes, predictable. And the really surprising thing about this science is just how simple it is. We're not talking about complex formulas here. The entire method really just boils down to a single, repeatable loop, a loop you practice every single day. The best way to think about it is like a daily habit for achievement. Now, before we actually get to the loop itself, we have to talk about the foundation, the mindset that's required to make any of this work. And honestly, this is probably the most important mental shift in the entire system. It's all about moving from what he calls a competitive mindset to a creative one. So, what's the difference, really? Well, the competitive mind sees the world as this finite pie, right? For you to get a bigger slice, that means someone else has to get a smaller one. It's all based on scarcity. But the creative mind, it doesn't even see a pie. It sees a kitchen with unlimited ingredients where you can just bake more pies. You're not taking anything from anyone. You're actually adding new value to the world. The whole idea here is to get past the thought that supply is limited. Because when you operate from this creative plane, your success doesn't take away from others. In fact, it does the opposite. It actually contributes, creating more opportunity for everyone. Okay, so how does this creative mindset actually fit into our daily loop? Well, the system is built on 3 core components, and they all work together. They are gratitude, vision, and action. Each one is absolutely essential, and you'll see how they kind of feed into one another to build momentum. All right, first up is gratitude. Wattles calls this the key to mental adjustment. And here's why that's so important. Our brains are kind of wired with a negativity bias. We're built to spot problems. A consistent gratitude practice helps retrain your mind to connect with the positive. But it's not just about feeling good. It's about aligning your mind with the best outcomes so you can actually see the opportunities and resources that are already all around you, the ones that are totally invisible when you're stuck focusing on problems. Next up, we have vision. And look, this isn't about just vague daydreaming. It's about forming a really clear, definite, detailed mental picture of what you want. Think of this vision like a destination plugged into your GPS. It gives all your thoughts and actions a clear direction, a single point to move toward. Because without that clear vision, all your efforts just end up scattered. And finally, there's action. This is the bridge. It's the crucial link between your inner world, that vision and gratitude, and the outer world of actual results. Your vision sets the destination, sure, but it's your daily action that actually moves you there. It's what makes your internal world a reality in the external world. But it's not just any kind of action. The system is really specific about this. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up, because they think they need to hustle 24/7 or just overwork themselves. But the focus here is completely different. It's about quality and consistency, not just sheer quantity. Wattles has a name for this. He calls it efficient action. So what does that mean? It means you focus only on today's work. You don't worry about tomorrow. You don't get overwhelmed by the whole journey ahead. You just do all that can be done today. And you do each task, no matter how small it seems, with excellence, with completeness. It's all about winning the present moment. Really, the entire method just boils down to this one idea: make today a success. If you can do today's work successfully, you've done everything you need to do for now. A successful life, in this view, is really just a series of successful days strung together. It's like a line of dominoes. Win today, and you set up the next one to fall perfectly. Okay, So let's put all these pieces together. Let's assemble them into that simple, actionable daily loop I mentioned, something you can start using right away. This is how we put the science into actual practice. All right, here it is, the daily loop. Step 1 is vision. First thing in the morning or whenever you have some quiet time, just hold that clear mental image of what you want. Step 2 is gratitude. Feel genuinely thankful that it's on its way. And then try to maintain that grateful attitude all day long. This is what keeps your mind tuned into opportunity. And finally, step 3, action. Take that efficient action, do all you can do today, and do each task well. That's it. That is the simple, powerful loop to practice every single day. Now, there's one final idea here that really acts as the fuel for this whole system. The principle is this. In every single action you take, your goal is to give more in use value than you get back in cash value. So what does that mean? It just means you always aim to add more life, more benefit, more value to others than the payment you receive. This is what guarantees you're always operating on that creative plane, adding true value to the world, which in turn is what fuels your own success. So let's do a quick recap of the entire system. First, make that fundamental mind shift. Move from competitive to creative, see abundance, not scarcity. Second, install that daily loop, vision, gratitude, action. And finally, focus all your energy on efficient action. The goal is simple, just win today. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. This isn't about tomorrow or next week. It's about right now. What is the one thing you can do successfully today to start moving toward your vision? Thanks for joining me for this breakdown. In our next one, we're going to tackle the role of willpower in this whole system. And hey, make sure you check out our full playlist for more summaries of these classic texts.